Okay, let's record this video. Baby needs to eat. You guys will not believe how long it took me just to get ready to sit down in front of this camera to film. Okay. All right, I'm gonna feed Campsy while I talk about my birth story. And he's sleeping, but it's time to eat. I don't want him to miss his feeding. All right, so I'm gonna do a story time or a talkie video on my positive hypnobirthing labor and delivery with my son, Campsy. So Campsy was born September 21st on a Saturday. So that's 3 weeks now. So he's 3 weeks old when I'm making this video. Today's October 11th. So I don't know when I'll post this video, but if you haven't seen the birth vlog, that's the video before this one, I believe. So make sure you check that out. I'll link it down below and on the screen. So check that out. All right, so I have some pregnancy videos that I've filmed throughout my pregnancy and stuff, but summarizing, my pregnancy was very good. I had a very nice and easy pregnancy. Towards the end, easy and uncomplicated. Towards the end, I was getting very tired because my baby was very heavy. So that's when I kind of felt like, you know, like, oh my gosh, at the end, like the last, I would say like 2 weeks, I was like ready to go. So in our family, like genes, like for my mom, my sister, me, and my family too, my mom's siblings, we have big babies. So my mom had big babies. I was like 9.5 pounds when I was born. My sister was 10 something, Junior was 12. So I already knew that I have a good chance I'm gonna have a big baby. My sister Inky, her first baby was 9 pounds something, and then her second baby was a little smaller, 8 pounds something. So going in, I already knew I was gonna have a big baby. So I kind of talked to the doctors already and told them, to let you know I'm gonna have a big baby, just let you guys know and stuff like that. So around 36 weeks, they did an ultrasound and they measured that my baby was measuring big. So my baby was already 8 pounds at 36 weeks. So they were just saying that if the baby doesn't come by due date, you know, they're gonna figure out something to do so the baby doesn't get too big. So going to my hypnobirthing history, when I found out I was pregnant, I knew that I wanted to have a natural, unmedicated delivery. So I kind of looked into, you know, how do women cope that want to do it naturally and stuff, and I found hypnobirthing. So I dug right into it and got started like around maybe like, I don't even know when, I would say like 16 weeks maybe. I kind of started hypnobirthing, I would say, maybe a little bit before then, but around the teens of my pregnancy. So I looked into it and I joined a private Facebook group, which was so much help, called Hypnobirthing. And I looked into materials and hypnobirthing like playlists on Spotify. So what I did was on my drive to work every day, I would meditate with my hypnobirthing tracks on Spotify. Okay, I had to charge my battery and he fell asleep. Okay, so I was saying I started listening to my hypnobirth meditation tracks on my way to work every day. So I do that on my way to work and on my way back. And my commute to work was like 45 minutes. So I had a good time to meditate in the beginning and at the end of the days. Are you gonna wake up or not? Very choppy. Okay. Finish your milk, boy. Okay. All right, so yeah, meditation on my way to work and on my way back. So I would listen to like nature sounds, rain sounds, a mixture of like different types of like tonal music with, you know, chimes and stuff like that. But it was very soothing, and then, you know, I was able to just put my mind in a good place. So I did that all up until I gave birth. So yeah, so I was part of the Facebook group. I got a lot info from, you know, all the women in that group, the moderators, everybody. So it was great to have like a support group, people sharing their stories, people sharing what they use, you know, during birth and stuff like that. So I was able to collect a lot of things I needed from my hospital bag to help me along the way, but at the end I only needed my headphones and my music at the end. But if you guys want me, I'll put a list of things that I did include in my bag for just in case and stuff like that. So around 36 weeks I started, yeah, by 36 weeks I was reading the Marie Mongan method book for hypnobirthing and a positive natural birth and all that stuff. So I read that, which was good, a nice good summary and a good introduction into, you know, more in-depth stuff, because I have, since then I just been doing like my meditation track, so I haven't read anything or done any like courses. So 36 weeks I read the Marie Mongan book and I read it on my iPad. It was good, I finished it. And then after that, then at 38 weeks I got the Positive Birth Company digital pack to do online course, and I did that with Chris. So at 38 weeks we did that, and we did that up until literally the day that I gave birth. I finished it. So I like that at the end I was able to bring Chris in with the digital pack so he can get a sense of, you know, what I've been talking about all these weeks. I've been talking about I'm doing hypnobirthing, what I've been doing, but he was able to like sit with the course and like get to know, you know, things like that. So it was really good, and he was so on board with it. As soon as, you know, we started the course, he was so on board with it. He started using the vocabulary you're supposed to be using and stuff like that. So it was really good. So if you guys want me to do like a more in-depth stuff on hypnobirthing, you know, I will. Just let me know in the comments, but I'm just gonna give like my labor and delivery now. So I had my 39 weeks appointment with my doctor, and she was saying that try to make sure that actually, to be honest, it wasn't the doctor, it was a midwife, because it was a nurse. Yeah, it was a midwife, because my practice where I go to, the midwives actually deliver the babies. So the doctors oversee everything, but the midwives are actually the ones that actually deliver the baby. So I like that. You know, at first I was like, oh my gosh, the doctor's not gonna deliver my baby. But after I went through the whole hypnobirthing, got to know a lot of more info, I was like, this is perfect, because like a midwife would be actually a little bit more better for what I would want. So I actually enjoyed having a midwife. But I had a midwife birth at a really nice I forget what level NICU hospital. So it was the best of both worlds. I come from a medical background, so I felt like I definitely wanted to birth at a hospital, and a very nice hospital. Then I got a midwife at the hospital, so it was perfect. Just exactly what I needed. So 39 weeks, the nurse was saying, you have 1 week until your due date. And she was like, we know your baby's measuring big, so maybe try to get labor started this week and have the baby this week. Because if the baby doesn't come this week, then we're going to schedule an induction date on my next appointment, which would have been my 40 weeks on the next Monday. So it was like, okay, I definitely don't want to be induced, because part of hypnobirthing is the least amount or no medical intervention. So I knew that I had to get myself into gear to get myself into labor this week, so I don't have to be induced. So, and I didn't really have a sign of, oh, labor is coming soon. You know, nothing was really showing that, okay, you know, the baby's coming, you know, soon. So I was like, yeah, I definitely need to, you know, get things going. Because I felt like if I didn't, you know, I definitely would have been induced by that Monday. So that whole week I was eating pineapple out the wuza. I was walking so much. Chris and I, we went to everywhere around town trying to walk. Went to the mall, walked outside. We went everywhere, like all day. Every single day, wake up in the morning, we would be out until the evening. So we walked. I did my pineapple stuff. So by the 18th of that week, which was a Wednesday, nothing had happened, no sign of anything. And I was just like, okay, we have, like, this baby needs to come. It's Wednesday, the baby needs to come by like Sunday, because I did not want to be induced. So by that time I was like, plan B. So plan B was to go get an acupressure massage. So I found this really nice, highly rated Chinese lady here in town. that does acupressure massages. So I actually called her and said, I'm actually trying to induce my labor, so can you give me a really good acupressure massage on points that induce labor? So she said, yeah, she can do it for me. So I came in that day. She did a really, oh my gosh, I've never had an acupressure massage before, but it was interesting because it's definitely not like a relaxing massage, like it's not, it's like pressure. So she was pressing all the points. They even like, she was even holding on to bars from the ceiling and stepping like on my legs and on my side and stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so funny. It's like this lady is literally stepping on a pregnant lady, but that was me. But I was like, this is what I need to do, so I need to do. So it was a really good massage. It was nice to get things just pressed out, you know, things that have been bothering me. My pelvis bone was hurting so bad because it was just like ridiculous. Like it hurt so bad. That was the only pain I ever had, was like my pelvis bone just felt like it was broken. And it made it hard to walk when I had to walk for things, you know, to get labor started. So yeah, so she was stepping on me, pressing points here. So she was like, okay, hopefully this will induce your labor. And I was like, I hope so. So that was the 18th. So no, that was the, I think it was 18th or 19th. So that was that. So so then the 9th, yeah, so I did that massage, nothing happened. So then the night, see, that was the 19th, yeah, I believe. No, that was the 18th. Yeah, I was the 18th. Okay, sorry. That was the 18th. So the 19th, I was like, okay, baby's not here. Like, okay, I need to do something else. So the 19th, I talked to my cousin. My cousin is an OB-GYN doctor. And I told her, I was just like, give me suggestions on what to do to make this baby come out now. And she was like, talk to my other cousin about, what's it called? German cocktail. So I was like, okay, so I talked to my other cousin about German cocktail. I was like, what is it? What does it do? So she told me the recipe. So I was telling Chris, so we went out to the grocery store and got all the ingredients to make the German cocktail. So one of the ingredients in the German cocktail is castor oil. So, and I know the controversy with people that talk about using castor oil to induce labor and stuff like that, but that's for castor oil. People drink like bottles of castor oil to induce labor, but the German cocktail, it just needed 2 tablespoons. So it wasn't the amount that people usually associate with like the controversy of castor oil. So anyways, I didn't want to do the castor oil because I didn't want it to make me have diarrhea. So I switched the castor oil with evening primrose oil. So I did that. So I used evening primrose oil, brewed up the whole thing. Chris made it for me and then I drank it. So that was like, what time was that? Sometime in the evening when we came back. So that was that. And then around that night, like late that night, I started having contractions. And I started having contractions that were like, you know, more intense. And they weren't regular, but they were closer together than, you know, what I was having, you know, obviously before. So then I started having like spotting and stuff like that. So then it was going on for some time. So I said, okay, maybe we should call the hospital and just tell them like, this is what's going on. So I called them. They said, okay, just come in so we can check you. So I said, okay. So we came in. I was only 2 centimeters and my contractions were so sporadic and so far apart. They were like, okay, nothing's really going on, so we're gonna send you back home. And I was like, okay. So by the time we came back home, it was like early in the morning, maybe like 6-7 a.m. in the morning, I believe. And so Chris and I, we kind of had a nap, and then we woke up like around maybe like in the afternoon, maybe like around 2, and I was just like, no, plan C, baby needs to come out. So my plan C was to go out. I said, okay, this is my last day. So this is the 20th, and this was a Friday. So I was like, this baby has to come out now. I don't have time. So I was like, plan C. So plan C, I woke up that day around 2 o'clock and I said, okay, let me go do my nails. So I went to go do my nails. I got a pedicure. And then I I booked a massage at Massage Envy just to do a regular prenatal massage. And then when I got there to do my massage, so first I did my nails, got that done. After my nails, I went to do a massage. So I told the massage lady, because she specializes in pregnant lady like massage, so I said, okay, I'm trying to induce my labor, so please massage the points that need to be massaged so labor can be starting. So she was like, oh, this is my specialty, so she specializes in this too. So it was like, thank you, Jesus. So I said, okay. So it was great. It was a great massage. It was very relaxing. She was able to press all the points that have induced labor, and it was good. So that day, that whole day, when I did my nails, got a massage, I was having contractions like every hour. So they were consistent but too far apart. So it was every hour. So I was like, okay, needs to be more in an hour. So after my massage, I went to go get Chipotle, and I got Chris Chipotle too. So we had dinner, had Chipotle, and then I finished eating around 8. And then before I came home, I wanted to stop at the grocery store to get the castor oil. So I said, let me try this German cocktail again, but let me just use the castor oil like it's supposed to. And the way the recipe is set up, it coats your stomach so that you don't get that diarrhea from the castor oil effect. So I said, okay, let me just do it. So got the castor oil. So I came home, finished my dinner, and you have to do the cocktail on an empty stomach. So finished eating around 8, and I said, I think it was, yeah. No, I finished eating around 4. So about 8 o'clock, I said, let me drink the German cocktail. I think that's the time it was, whatever. So I drank it, and then, oh, my baby's smiling. He's like fast asleep. He's done eating. He's like laughing at himself in his sleep. Okay. Okay, so I drank the German cocktail, my second round of it with the castor oil. So then I drank that around 8 p.m. By midnight, contractions hit, and they were very consistent. They were like every 5 minutes by midnight. So I drank it at 8. By midnight, contractions were every 5 minutes. Like it just hit boom. So I said, okay, so every 5 minutes. And I put on one of my baby apps has a contraction timer. So I was just timing my contractions, and they were every like 5, 6, 7 minutes. It was very sporadic. So then by the time it hit like every 3 to 5 minutes consistently, then I put on my Freya app. And if you're familiar with hypnobirthing and the Positive Birth Company, their app is called the Freya app, and it is a meditation app with contraction timer. So by the time my contractions were like 3 to 5 minutes, I put that on because contractions were very intense. I needed something more focus minded because I was starting to get like, oh my gosh, they're getting intense. So I put on the Freya app, and the Freya app talks to you and guides you through a meditation. So it was nice. I was upstairs in our room, and the lights were out. It was pitch black. I was sitting up in bed and just going through the contractions. So it was like very calming, and I had the Freya app on, so the lady was talking. So it was very calming and soothing. You know, it was a very nice, perfect environment to labor in. And then Chris was just downstairs, so he knew that I would call him when I said, okay, it's time to go to the hospital. So I put on the Freya app, and it would be guiding through meditation, and then anytime I have a contraction, I would press it, and then it would count for me. So I just did that for like an hour. So after an hour, then contractions were consistent like every 3 to 4 minutes. So I said, okay, because I knew I wanted to labor at home as long as possible, so that when I got to the hospital, you know, I wouldn't have to deal with so much of, you know, interventions. So one of my goals for hypnobirthing was labor at home as long as possible. So I did. So after an hour of 3 to 5 minutes of labor, then I called Chris and said, okay, babe, I've been having contractions every 3 to 5 minutes, and it's been like that for an hour. So let's go to the hospital. So we called the hospital, let them know. They said, okay, come in. So then after I told Chris that, I called the hospital. Then we got ready. So I changed my clothes. Chris shaved. Like, we took our time. So changed my clothes. Chris shaved. Got my bag was already in the car from the night before, so my bag was already ready to go. So, and I got my last minute stuff. I think I got like my tripod, got my phone, you know, and then I put my jacket on, and I was just waiting in the kitchen for Chris to come down. So by the time he was ready, make sure this is in focus. So by the time he was ready, maybe like an hour and a half from the time I've been having consistent contractions. So it took us about 30 minutes to get the house. So by this time it was maybe like 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, and we were driving out. So we got in the car, and my contractions were coming, you know. So we were driving, and it was so crazy how I didn't know that when you're driving in the car and bumps are hitting, like, it's so uncomfortable. So we were coming out of our garage, and that ledge from like the street for our sidewalk, it was like a big bump, and I was like telling Chris, like, I was like, oh my gosh, do you have to do that? Something like that. And I was just like, just stop. Like, I kept telling him, just stop. Because it's like when you go over bumps, it was so uncomfortable. So I know he was like, he didn't say anything. I know he was kind of like, but I gotta go, you know? So he drove like pretty slow, like pretty carefully. So anytime there was bumps, I would be like, oh my gosh, don't go so hard in the bumps, or stop. I was telling him to stop in the middle of the road. He's like, I can't stop. I was like, yeah, but it hurts. Stop driving like that, you know? So we got to the hospital. It was like maybe like 5:15, and we just walk in. Like, we leave my bag in the car, because I told him, like, we just get the bag later. So we go inside. I have to go to the bathroom, so I stop in the bathroom, and then Chris has to go to the bathroom, so we stops in the bathroom, and we just take our time to go up to the labor and delivery ward. So we go in there, and then we have to call on the phone, and they open the door for us. So we get in there, and then they put me in a room, and then they check me, and they were like, oh, you're 7 centimeters. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 7 centimeters? In my mind, I was just like, yes, because I labored at home as much as possible. But then I was just like, dang, I got to 7 like that. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I thought maybe I'll be like 5 or 4 or something, but 7, I was like, woohoo. So Chris and I were like, yay, that means baby's coming like now, you know? So, and I was 7, but I was like, okay, I'm 7 centimeters. So 3 more centimeters and I'm 10. So I was like, we called everybody fast. We called my dad, called my mom, called my best friend, called Inky, because, you know, all the people, I wanted them to be there when the baby was coming. It was perfect timing too, because Inky was off that weekend. It was a Saturday, so everybody was off work. So I remember, no matter where everybody was, they were able to get to me. And everybody was like 2 hours away. Erica, she was in DC. So as soon as I called her or texted her that I'm in labor, 7 centimeters, she got on the road and drove straight to Ohio. So then Inky got on the road. Inky went to go pick up Junior, got on the road. Daddy went to work real quick to run up some things before he came, and then mommy came too. She ran up some things at home and she came too. So from that time that we were in triage and I called everybody, they took me up to the delivery room, got to the delivery room, and then we were in there. They were hooking me up to like IV for like things and stuff, and you know, I was doing hypnobirthing, so I kept asking them, like, making sure before they do things, like, so what is this that you're doing? What are you giving me? Because, you know, I need to advocate for myself and make sure that I know what's going on and stuff. And because I noticed at the hospital, they will just start doing things to you without your consent or without you knowing what's going on, you know. So if you're doing hypnobirthing at the hospital, that's the one thing, is that you need to make sure that you know what's going on. So question everything before they do it. If they're talking about something, question it, because when we got there, the nurses were calling for some nurse to come and break my water. We heard them talking about it. I was like, excuse me, what's going on? No one's breaking my water. And she was like, oh honey, like, yeah, I'll help you. And I was like, no, I don't want my water broken right now. Just give me some time. And my mom is not even here, because I was afraid that if they broke it, things would progress too fast. You know, I didn't want a rush of pain, you know, all that stuff like that. So I said, no, I'll break my water when I tell you. So they said, okay. So by this time, we were settled into the room. My dad came. My dad was here. And then a little bit later, my mom was able to get there. So I was still, so by that time, I was like 8 centimeters. So a couple hours later, I was still at 8. So contractions were fine. They were the same as they were when I was at home. Like, no different, you know. Yeah, so they were no different. So after some hours I was still 8, so they were like, okay, maybe we should do something. Can we break your water now? And I was like, okay, fine, my mom is here, you can break my water. So they sat me up and they broke my water. And when they broke my water, oh my gosh, it felt so good. It was like all that pressure was like whoosh, it was gone. So when they broke it, I was like happy. I was like, oh wow, this feels great. Mind you, I'm 8 centimeters, no pain meds. And broke my water, and I was like, oh, this feels so good. And they kept asking me like, do you want pain meds? I was like, no, I'm fine. They were like, are you sure? I was like, no, I'm good. Don't ask me again about pain meds. So that's the one thing, is that if they keep asking about things, just tell them, don't ask me about pain meds. So I didn't want any pain meds, so I said no. So I said okay. So my water was breaking and broken, and then laboring still, surges still coming on, and then so after some hours I was still 8 centimeters. So they were like, okay, maybe we can give you Pitocin to help speed up the labor. So I was kind of like, I don't know about Pitocin, because an intervention, and then Pitocin makes your contractions more intense, you know, than normal. So, and I was like already, you know, knowing that I don't have pain meds, you know, will I be able to do this with Pitocin? So after some time, you know, I went back and forth with like my mom, my dad, Chris and stuff, and the nurses. And I was like, okay. And they were like, after they said, okay, you know, we can give you Nubane, another type of pain med, for, you know, since we're gonna give you Pitocin. I was just like, no, it's okay, I don't want Nubane. They're like, are you sure? Because right now is the only time you can get it, because you'll be past the time you can get any pain meds. And I said, no, I'm fine. So I said, okay. So I said, if you're giving me Pitocin, give me the littlest dose. They were like, okay, honey, we're not going to give you more than you need. And I said, okay, fine. So they gave me a little bit of Pitocin, and then my contractions started being more intense, but not unbearable. And mind you, from the time I was at home, midnight till this time, going through my surges, there wasn't a time there, I don't know, maybe I have a high pain tolerance, but there wasn't a time when like I was like, oh, this is unbearable here, or this is so bad. Like, no, consistently the surges were a challenge, but it wasn't something where I was just like, I can't do this anymore, or this is too much, or this is painful. No, it literally wasn't. I wouldn't even describe the whole contractions or surges as painful. It was just intense. That's all I can say. Pressure, you know. So they gave me Pitocin, and things were progressing. So it was to 9 centimeters. They gave me a little bit more, and then finally I was able to get to 10 centimeters. So by 10 centimeters, they were like, okay, you're 10 centimeters, time to push. So everybody started getting all the things ready for pushing and the baby to come out and stuff. So by this time I was 10 centimeters, chilling on the bed. I was just like, I'm 10, like this is it. I was like, this is what everyone's been talking about. So it was just like, I don't know, maybe I was in a good state of mind or something, but I was ready to go. So, oh yeah, going back. So when they gave me Pitocin, then I knew I needed to, you know, kind of get in the gear to, you know, get ready for the Pitocin and how the Pitocin would feel. So I told Chris, like, please, Chris, get my bag from the car, because this time I didn't have my hospital bag from the car. So I needed my headphones so I can like really like bear down and get through the Pitocin contractions. So he got my bag, got my headphones in, put on my meditation tracks on my Spotify that I've listened to for the past 9 months or so. And so then I told Chris, like, sit. So Chris sat on the edge of the hospital bed, and they brought a birthing ball for me. So I sat on the birthing ball, I got a pillow, put the pillow in Chris's lap, put my head in the pillow, and I said, okay, put on the Pitocin. So I powered through the Pitocin. So it made the contractions, some contractions throughout that time were like intense, you know, like I can remember like there was a couple that were like so intense. So I just said, if I'm gonna go through Pitocin, I need like Chris to like be here so I can hold him and get my meditation tracks. And then that's when I started my J breathing, because there's 2 different types of breathing with hypnobirthing. So I was doing my regular breathing with the contractions, but now that was getting more intense, I did my down breathing, J breathing, to help open me up and get me, you know, opened up so I can be the 10 centimeters. So Pitocin ran through me for 2 hours. So I was on that ball for 2 hours. And then they said, okay, let's check you. So I got out from the birthing ball, sat back on the bed, and then they said I was 10 centimeters. So I said, great. So ready to push. So I was like excited, it's like finally get to push. And by this time it was like 1:30 p.m. So mind you, we got to the hospital at 5:15, 7 centimeters. So it took me all those hours to get to 10 centimeters by 1:30. Tiring, but doable. So 1:30, so I got back on the bed. They put me in the stirrups, and then she was asking me, do I feel like I have an urge to push? And I was just like, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure if I feel an urge to push, but I'm ready to push. So they told me, okay, so we're gonna count to 10. You're gonna give really good pushes. We'll do that 3 times for each session during a contraction. So I said, okay. So they put me up. So they said, okay, next contraction, you're gonna push. So I said, okay. So contraction came. I was pushing, did 3 of those, took a rest. So after some time, maybe like 30 minutes or so, I was getting tired. So they put oxygen on me to help me get more energy to push and stuff like that. So in between contractions, I would breathe in oxygen, time to push, take it off, and start pushing. So with the pushing, you know, I don't know, it was just so weird. I was so present, you know, with pushing. So I had no pain meds, you know, going through the hypnobirthing. I was in the moment. I knew everything was going on. That's one thing about hypnobirthing too, is that you're present. You know what's going on. You're aware, you know, you feel everything. So I was aware, I was calm. I was just like, okay, push, let's push, start pushing. At pushing, I felt no pain. Like pushing was painless. I like, it didn't feel like anything. I was just laying on the bed and saying, okay, do you guys see the head yet? And they were like, not yet. And I'm like, okay, push. And I pushed. And they were like, you see it yet? And they were like, yeah, we see hair. And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, I'm contraction coming. So I said, okay, push. So pushing was so painless. Like it didn't feel like anything. Maybe I was thinking like, maybe it was so painful that I felt nothing. I don't know, but I didn't feel anything. It didn't feel painful at all. And I was telling my family that like surges are more painful than pushing. That's what I was like, contractions and stuff, I felt that, you know, I kind of had to get myself through it. But pushing, I was just like, this is it. This is the pushing everyone's talking about. So I was just like, okay. So it was easy. Like it was so easy. So I'll just be pushing. And then the time when it was like the ring of fire, I knew it was coming. So the midwife was, okay, so did you ever heard of the ring of fire? And I was like, yeah. And she was okay, so when it comes, you know, just make sure that you get yourself together, da 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 da. I was like, okay. So I knew that's when it was. So I felt it, but I was just like, oh, this is ring of fire. It just felt like nothing. I don't know. It just felt like nothing. So that's when I felt the head coming. Like I felt the head coming out, you know, but I was just like, okay, like, you know, it didn't feel like anything. So by the time the baby's head was out, the whole body came out at the same time. So it was like a fast, like, poosh, like the baby came out like that. So the baby came out, and I remember just seeing the baby lift up in the air, and then I brought him to my chest, and I was just like, oh, my baby's here. I was like, he was heavy, he was chunky, he was wet. He was all wet and sticky, you know what I mean? He didn't have like the cheesy vernix on him or anything like that. He was just wet and like sticky. So I was just like, oh, my baby's here. So I kept like looking down, like, cause the baby was like right here. So I was like, kept looking down like this, like, look, see, oh, what does he look like? What does he look like? You know, so I could just see like his little chunky arm bent like this, you know? So I was like, oh, he's so chunky. And then it's so crazy because we didn't know the gender all this time. So maybe like after the baby was out and some time went by, maybe like almost a minute, I was like, oh yeah, is it a boy or a girl? And then Chris was like, it's a boy. And I was like, oh wow. So it's like, it was crazy because like I forgot that I don't know the gender, you know? So I didn't think about it when the baby came out to ask. So yeah, so when the baby came out, I was just like, my baby's yes, my baby. I was so happy, so excited and stuff. So I had my dad Chris and my mom in the delivery room with me. My dad, he stayed at like behind me at the door and stuff like that, but I didn't expect him to be in there the whole time, but he was, and I love that he was there. You know, he didn't see anything until the baby came out, but he was there, and it was like, it was nice. It was like perfect. And then Erica was there, so my only 3 people can be in the delivery room. So my dad left. As soon as the baby came out, my dad was like, congratulations, and he left so he can give the badge to Erica. So Erica came up. I was still doing my 1 hour golden hour with the baby on my skin to skin. So Erica came in, and then Erica was in there, and then eventually Inky came. Inky and Gina were able to get there too. So within my hour of baby in my chest, Erica got there, Inky and Gina got here too. So it was like perfect timing. Like, it was the most perfect birth ever. Like, oh my gosh, it was perfect. And then to have everybody that I wanted there, it could not have been any better. So I was still doing golden hour with the baby on my chest, and then Inky came, so we talked. I talked with Erica, mommy was there. You know, it was like, it was exciting. So I appreciate all that I learned with hypnobirthing to give me a positive birth story. Like, I can tell my birth story like all the time. I'm so happy. Like, I'm so happy. It went so well. It was not painful at all. Like, it wasn't painful at all. It was intense. There was a lot of pressure, but it was not painful. I will never associate that birth with pain. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So yeah. So yeah, I appreciate all that I learned from the hypnobirthing group on Facebook. All that I read, all that I learned, all that I did online with the Positive Birthing Company, digital pack, my husband, you know, being there for me and supporting me. And when I said, babe, I want to do hypnobirthing, you know, he never made fun of me. He never was just like, what is that? He was like, okay, that sounds interesting. And he said, so he was like, so tell me what it's about and stuff. So I love that he was very supportive, and he was very supportive. He got into it, you know, as you know, you would want a birth partner to be into it, you know, using the right vocabulary and stuff like that. So it was, as I said, I couldn't have asked for a better birthing experience, especially in a hospital, because a lot of people that do hypnobirthing prefer to birth at home or birth in a birth center and stuff. But yeah, it was beautiful. If I have any other things that I forgot, I'll put it down below. If you have any questions on my birth and stuff, leave it in the comments when I make another video. And then if you want me to do a separate video on more details about the hypnobirthing, exactly all the things I used, the things that I bought. So there's a lot of other things that I bought for my hospital bag that I didn't need to use, like my TENS unit, my lavender oil, and stuff like that. And then yeah, it was just like beautiful. And then I'll do a video on postpartum stuff, things that I needed for postpartum, things I've been doing to bind like my belly and my stomach to like make it go down and stuff like that. So yeah, so through my whole pregnancy, I gained 28 pounds, and my baby, he weighed 9 pounds 15 ounces. So he's like 1 ounce away from 10 pounds. So yeah, I had a big baby. I knew I'd have a big baby, but dang, I didn't know it'd be that big. I didn't know you'd be that big. So yeah, so I gained 28 pounds during my pregnancy, and imagine 10 of that was just my baby. So by 2 weeks, I already lost all my pregnancy weight. So I was already back to pre-pregnancy weight by 2 weeks postpartum. So as I said, 10 pounds, my baby was like 10 pounds of my 28 pound weight gain. Lost all of it by 2 weeks, back to pre-pregnancy weight. And then also, as I said, like hypnobirthing, like it helps you like after the baby's out. I was like tired from pushing, because I think I pushed for like an hour and 10 minutes. But I was tired from pushing, so after the baby was out, and I had my golden hour, and then they did all the checks for the baby. You know, they transported me to postpartum section of the hospital. I was like, okay, I'm ready to take a shower. and take a nap. Like I was ready to like just chill. I felt good. I felt energized. Like I felt empowered. I felt energized. You know, I don't know, like, yeah, I felt energized, but I was still like ready for a nap and stuff like that. But I just felt great. Like I felt good. I felt so proud of myself that I was able to, you know, labor and deliver with no pain meds, and it wasn't something that was so astronomically like difficult for me. You know, I was, you know, going into it, I don't know what it's like to deliver a baby, so I wasn't sure how it would be for me. You know, before, you know, the baby came, when I was preparing, I was just like, oh my gosh, there's some women, you know, they get to a point where they're like, I can't do it anymore and stuff, you know. So I don't know, I was just trying to think like what will happen for me. But it was a positive experience. It was so great. I would do it as soon as the baby was out. I was like, oh, I would do this all over again. Like it was great. It was so great. I'm so happy. Pregnancy, oh my gosh, I feel like I don't miss pregnancy because the baby was so heavy at the end. I was so ready to have the baby out. But yeah, to have another baby, yeah, like I can wait for like a couple years. I feel like I can wait, but I'm looking forward to like the next, you know, experience on that too. So it was good. Okay, let me wipe my baby's mouth before I show him to you guys. Baby's mouth. He has a crusted milk mouth. This is my baby, so he's sleeping, so you won't see his eyeballs. I know. So keep sleeping though, because after we're done with this video, you need to finish your nap. But here's my baby Campsy. So his name is Campsy Sochi. Campsy Sochi Christoph. Look at him. I'll show some pictures. So we went to go do pictures like a week when he was 1 week old. Yeah, we did pictures with him. Newborn pictures. So it was great. So here he is. He's a big baby. He's a big baby now. He's a big baby when he was born, and now he's still a big baby. See his face? Say hi to the people. So Campsy Sochi Christoph Madu. So yes. So Chris picked, so we, you know, it's funny how we went over names and stuff. Like the day, like 2 days before, the day before, we were going over names again, you know, because about, like, we didn't finalize his name until maybe like a day or two before he was born. We didn't finalize his Igbo name. So we just wanted it to come to us when it came, you know, so we didn't force it. But the Christoph, I knew I wanted to name my baby Christoph if it was a boy. So we had like a girl set a name and a boy set a name. So if it was a girl, it would have been Christiana. And if it was a boy, Christoph. So obviously it's a boy, so we had Christoph. So I love the name Christoph. So I was so happy because when it came out, I was like, oh, Christoph. So yeah, so Campsy Sochi Christoph, my baby. My baby. Here he is again. He's so cute. Look at my baby. My baby. I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? So yeah, so I hope you guys liked my labor and delivery story. Hopefully I didn't leave things out. It's so crazy how before people would be like, oh, when you after you have your baby, you forget the pain and all this stuff like that. You forget details. That's how people have babies again and again and again. And I was just like, how do people forget? But now I'm like, oh, I can see how people forget, because after the baby was out, maybe that day or like a day later, I kind of forgot what like contractions felt like and how it was. Like it was kind of like fleeting out of my mind or leaving my mind. So I was like, oh yeah, you really do forget. So like, and then the whole details of my whole labor and delivery, like I was like, let me do this video now before I forget details. So I feel like I forgot some things, but if I did, I'll put them. But I think I got everything. But yeah, the thing, pregnancy has not left my mind though. So I remember being pregnant. I remember how heavy this baby was. I remember how I wanted to be out. But delivery and stuff like that is starting to like leave my mind and stuff like that. But which wasn't a bad thing in the beginning anyways. But Yes, pregnancy, nah, I still remember that. So I think I need some time to recover from pregnancy. So yeah, so I think that's everything. I hope I said everything I need to say. But yeah, that's my positive hypnobirth labor and delivery. As I said before, like 5 times already, like if you have anything to say or any questions, leave it down below. And I think that's it. I don't want to leave. I want to keep talking to you guys, but let me know what types of videos you guys want me to do, like mom videos, house videos. We just moved, so I have a house moving and house tour video vlog. If you haven't watched it, yeah, let me know what kind of videos you guys want me to be doing now. You know, things have changed a little bit. I have a baby, I'm a mom, you know, so like let me know what types of videos you guys are interested in me doing. I still want to do like hair videos here and there, makeup videos here and there, outfit videos. And if you're interested in me doing like how I was able to, like, you know, not gain so much weight in pregnancy, lose it pretty fast after, and the whole like binding of my stomach and the things I use to help bind, because I have 3 different stages that I've been doing things for binding. So I'm on my 2nd stage now, but I'm ready to go to my 3rd stage. So let me know if you're interested in me doing a video on that, and I'll go do just a whole one video on all that stuff. So anyways, my face is coming back to normal. Oh my gosh, my face. My face changed so much. I could not believe how much my face changed this whole pregnancy. But my face is coming back to normal. It's not fully there yet, but it's almost back to normal. Yeah, if you guys, oh, my face, I missed my face though. So today when I did my makeup for this video, I was like, yes, I missed you. Where have you been? Like, I was loving it. I enjoyed doing makeup today because I missed my face so much. So anyways, rambling on. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Come to my hands now. You're gonna get left down, baby. Come to my hands now.